So when were age restrictions for video games first introduced? The answer was in 2003.
I got that wrong. I don't know about you. You're watching the last Right Stuff of the week? No, you're not. What am I saying? I'm actually miles away, hallucinating. You're watching the Right Stuff. We're live on 5 with Glenn Tilbrook, Kay Adams and Stephen Cameron.
Welcome to Jeremy Kyle Show.
Oh, no! You! Now, that's all he ever says, but it's still to come. Can you really tell if a man would make the perfect date just by the way he treats his own mother? That's what Michelle Obama reckons. Is she mad? 0207 173 5555. That's the number for your calls. Got any emails on DNA databases?
We've got quite a few, actually. The first one here is from Marius, and he writes, the implication is that, although the government recognises I haven't done anything wrong, the principle exists that I might. I find it insulting.
Absolutely.
Thin end of the wedge, guys, watch out.
OK.
Carl, everyone should have a sample taken at birth, and that should be on file forever.
Why not just go and get barcodes as well? We wouldn't just tattoo it on the forehead. You wouldn't even need DNA, database cards.
He thinks it's a great deterrent. I don't.
OK.
And then finally, Alan, I've never committed a crime in my life. I have nothing to hide. And just because I don't want my DNA taken, would that make me suspicious? The government have no right to invade my privacy in that way, so I'm moving to Scotland.
Well.
Well, that's one room rented out. Oh, my God.
Like an exchange. OK, would you give a violent video game for Christmas, even one that had an 18 rating? The very latest Call of Duty shoot-'em-up was released yesterday. It's going to be a massive seller, despite it being hailed as the most violent video game ever. Even more astonishing than that is the fact that thousands of parents are going to buy it for their underage kids. Newcastle mum, Mandy Peters, is one of them. She told the Daily Mail she'd bought Call of Duty for her 16-year-old son, Luke. I know the game is an 18 certificate, but I was still happy to buy it for him, because if I don't, he'll probably just play it at a friend's house. And I agree with her. 101%. My 16-year-old nephew, he wants it as well, and I'll probably get it for him, because I know he'll play it somewhere else if I don't. Critics accuse the Call of Duty game of trivialising terrorism. The player's mission is to kill as many people as possible, and the game includes one scene where players can take part in an airport massacre. Some researchers believe violent video games can induce stronger effects in children than violent films and TV, because games are, by their nature, engaging, they're interactive, and they reward violent behaviour. Though the International Gaming Research Unit at Nottingham Trent University reckons there's no proof violent video games make people more violent. And it's the same argument there with films and television as well. Whatever your point of view, Call of Duty is an 18-rated game, so are parents, relatives or friends who buy a copy for someone underage evil? There's the question. Glenn, you've got teenage boys.
Yes, I have. Evil? No, I don't think they'd be evil at all. I don't think it's right, though, I have to say. I know it's one of those things you can't stop. You can't stop your teenage people doing anything.
But it's fascinating. You wouldn't buy a porn film for a 16-year-old child, which has an 18 certificate.
Nor would you go out and buy them drugs. You know,
you would buy a video game.
I think that's. I wouldn't buy them that. I think that the whole ethos behind games that involve going around killing people is wrong. You know, that I'd really want to encourage.
So you're more bothered actually just by the nature of the game rather than the certificate itself.
I'm bothered by all sorts of things in entertainment that are violent and seem to have no purpose and are doing no good. You know, to me that's wrong.
See, I was astonished that it's only since 2003 we put age restrictions on, and I'm wondering, Stephen, whether that's part of the problem, is that the age restrictions are a bit of a joke, whereas 18-rated films were really big news when I was a kid because they were the forbidden things that adults had. And this is a comparatively new restriction.
I think it's just a sign of the times, because if you think about what the kind of games that we were playing when I was a young man, you know, smashing cars together, little toy soldiers, cowboys and Indians, I didn't for once think I was going to go and find a cowboy or an Indian, ride a horse and shoot someone in the face. Didn't happen. So people should be given a bit of credit for what's happening. Also, parents and uncles should also take a bit of responsibility, because like Glenn, I think these kind of games that glorify violence to a certain extent should not be allowed. And I think even if you use the example that, or the excuse that they're going to watch it at a friend's house, I might as well buy it myself, where do you draw the line?
Well, you know, the thing with these games is as far as I know through my nephew, is they do all play it. They play it together, they play it online, they play it internationally.
And as a parent, I mean, well, you agreed, and the lady who said, well, he's 16, but he's going to play it somewhere else. I think as a parent, you have to send out a signal. And yeah, OK, they are probably going to go to their mate's house and watch it there. But the signal that you send to your child is, no, I don't like it, I am not going to buy it for you. OK, I can't lock you up 24 hours a day, but I think it's a pile of hee-haw, and I am not going to condone it. And I think that whole thing with parents saying, well, if I don't give them drink, they'll get it somewhere else. If I don't give them cigarettes, they'll get it somewhere else. You've got to say what you stand for and what you hope that they'll stand for.
Explain, and then they'll make the decision they're going to make anyway, but you know, with your informed opinion, hopefully.
Do you think, Kay, the age rating counts at all?
Well, I mean, I suppose...
Does it have the same gravitas as an 18 film?
Yeah.
To you, if you read of an 18 certificate game?
Well, I mean, it's a signal, isn't it? I mean, I've got 2 young girls, so we're not into that realms yet. But, I mean, I'm not into video games or any of that kind of stuff. So at least if I saw an 18 certificate as a parent, I'd think, oh, wait a minute, I better sort of take a bit of notice here and just have a look at it and see what's involved. That's the only thing that I can see it having any kind of use for.
I think it does have the same gravitas, you know, because to see a massacre in an airport, you know...
But it's not a massacre,
because
it's not a computer-generated...
Yeah, they're so realistic. I mean, they're incredibly realistic. You are part of that game. I mean, you know, I played Cowboys and Indians and all the rest of it as well, but, you know, this isn't the same thing.
But isn't it Cowboys and Indians for the 21st century?
I think it is as well, and we should give young people a bit more credit. So it should be called Cowboys and
Cow People, and Native American original people.
Yeah, that's the right term now. Now, I think we should give young people credit, because they're not just going to go and... Not all of them are going to go and reenact what they see, but also, as a parent or a guardian, you do have a responsibility to send out the right message. It's
fascinating, because one of the cameramen here, he said that his 17-year-old got it yesterday, and I went, you're disgusting, you are evil. And he says, well, you know, he's 17. And then he went on to say, but he does play it with his 15-year-old brother. Yeah. And this is the point being, I wouldn't have a problem with my nephew is 16. I would have a problem if a child was 13 or 14. They're that bit younger. And then we get into that mess of, well, where do you draw the line?
The vast majority of kids will be able to take it for what it is. And it's not going to produce a generation of mass murderers. But it's interesting that, you know, whatever society is saying, it doesn't have an effect. But if we go back to the 2 boys who were found guilty of the Jamie Bulger
Thompson
murder...
and Venables, yeah.
You know, the fact that they watched at a far too early age really kind of destructive videos and things was quoted in court.
They were very young, weren't they? They were 11 and 12.
No, that's what I'm saying. For the vast majority, no, I don't think it will have an effect. But, you know, to say that it can never have an effect, I find strange, because it's been brought up in court as being significant, you know.
But that's also... All that stuff is about chaotic parenting, isn't
yes,
it?
You know,
it's part of a package.
You kids do whatever you like, or go and smoke crack or whatever, you know.
I can't sort of reconcile the sort of hypocrisy I have within myself, which that would be that I wouldn't buy a 15, 16-year-old an 18 certificate film, but I would have far less problem with a game. Maybe you can help me. Let's find out what people say, Kirsty.
Anne's just bought it for a 12-year-old son. She's on line 1.